And ably assisting him is Brian Dupuy for the Bernie Sanders campaign. Followed by Amanda Howland, who is representing the Joe Biden campaign. Each presidential representative, a representative of each president, one, will have 5 minutes to give an introduction to their candidate. If they could take less, we could stay on track, but they will be timed down in the audience there. And then they will take some of your questions. I'm sure you have a lot more questions than can be answered in a format like this, but our panel of experts is going to choose the most relevant and most compelling questions. The panelists here will have a minute each to answer the question, although I hope that our two representatives for Bernie will take a minute together so we can stay on schedule if we can.
We're missing one.
Yeah, we're missing a representative. He had to leave for Biden. But anyway, so I hope that you will find this interesting. I will just keep things in order, and if anybody exceeds the time, I do have a hook. So, please, let's get started. We'll go in alphabetical order, so the representative, Adam Broad, from the Bernie campaign will begin.
Hi, it's an honor to be here, and the first thing I want to say about Bernie Sanders is, rather than listening to just anything I might have to say about him or anything Brian would say, is to do your own research and hear what Bernie has to say for himself and to look into the movement. I would especially suggest listening to what he has to say in the YouTube videos appearing before J Street, which is a peace organization that is one of the rare groups that claims to be pro-Israel and pro-Palestine, and that would be a good start. And also to look more into single-payer healthcare, the facts. There's a lot of disinformation about it. Medicare for all will save lives and livelihoods, and it will eliminate profits for CEO, executives, and shareholders in favor of putting that money directly into healthcare. We pay more than any other country in the world for our healthcare system because we're paying for profits and administrative waste. The private sector waste in our healthcare system, it's about triple the cost of government waste and bureaucracy. Think about that for a second. It tripled the size of waste in a government-run bureaucracy. And also, if you believe climate science is real, if you believe climate change is a thing, then really you know we cannot take baby steps to mitigate the effects of climate disaster that is coming for all of humanity. We need to join together, and we need the government to step up and be responsible. This Ronald Reagan concept that federal government should be strictly limited it is not what is in the U.S. Constitution. That is not the mission statement of the U.S. government. We need to promote the general welfare and provide for the common defense. This is a security issue. It's a survival of humanity issue. We need massive federal investment for a transformation to clean, renewable energy. Handing out a few tax incentives for a handful of people to get solar isn't going to do it. We need comprehensive solar retrofitting in this country 20 years ago.
Yes. That's right.
Listen what the scientists say about Bernie's so-called too far left, too radical program. The scientists say it's a bare minimum. A bare minimum for us to survive, for my grandchildren to be able to have grandchildren on the planet. So don't be misled by the voices of people who are profiting at the federal trough, who are afraid they're going to lose some of their slop while that money gets reinvested in communities. That's what they're scared of. They're afraid that there's some of these defense contracts, some of these bank bailouts, some of these free handouts to polluters are going to end to pay for it, and they're right. The free ride is going to end. We're going to invest that money in communities. This is essential, and don't take my word on it. Please do the research. Look at the Union of Concerned Scientists. Look at all the movements that are concerned with climate emergency. And please vote for Bernie Sanders for president.
Hi, everybody. You already know who I am. I am a candidate delegate for Joe Biden. And let me tell you, I tried to be a delegate for a couple of other presidential campaigns. Because of the process and the way people are picked, this is where I ended up. But I am not at all sorry that I am representing Joe Biden. I know Joe Biden. I've met him a number of times. I've talked with him. I've worked with his wife on education issues in my role as a trustee for the College of Lake County. And I can tell you that he has a policy, kind of like Elizabeth Warren, on anything that you might want to know about on his website. And I do have handouts here. I was not able to get down to Chicago to get his fully blown, fancy schmancy, but I do have some that I've printed for those of you who want them. Why am I supporting Joe Biden? Because right now our country is so divided and so upset, and there's so much chaos that even though policies of revolution and major changes are important to all of us, we can't deal with any more chaos. We need somehow to build a base and build a structure to get not backwards, but to go forwards to do the things we need to do. Joe Biden is in favor of education for all. He's pushing free education. Joe Biden, when he worked with President Obama, worked with my uncle, Dr. Quentin Young, who was one of the first proponents of health care for all, universal health care. He founded the Physicians for Universal Health Care that is now a nationwide foundation with healthcare workers all over the country. And because of that, they got the Obamacare, quote, called Obamacare, passed. I know that Vice President Biden will push to continue to expand on that. He believes that healthcare is a right, not a privilege. For those of you who say, or listen to, or hear, oh my gosh, he's losing it mentally, he's making gaffes. I made one tonight, Nancy made one tonight when she said I was, when I was a Bernie supporter. It happens in the heat of doing what you're doing, when you're out there and you're passionate. I once, when I was running for Congress, told people I was going to go to Springfield to represent them. Am I crazy? Have I lost my mind? No. It happens. Joe Biden is stable. He's well known throughout the world. World leaders look to him. He's a person that I know will bring people in who need to work with him to form a coalition to get the things we need done. And he's not afraid to admit what he doesn't know. He'll bring in people who do know to work with him. And that's why I am proud to be on the ballot for Joe Biden. And if you want information, I will give you what I have, and I will also make sure if you come and talk to me that I give you all the websites, and if you want more, I'll get it for you.